Today we're going to be playing more Human Resource Machine. Last time we got to, like floor 16 or something like that? So let's see how far we can get today. The puzzles are going to get more and more difficult as we go along. So progress will be 17 years. So progress will definitely be slower. Oh right, because we did the exclusive lounge, which was 17. We did that before 16 here. So absolute positivity is our next level. Hey Wrench, how's it going? Let me check my sound levels. Hey Kevin, what's up? Looks like sound levels are good, but let me know if I need to change anything. Positive attitudes were determined to increase productivity. Excellent. Now therefore mandatory. Smile, management is watching. Alright. So, we need to send each thing from the inbox to the outbox, but if a number is negative, first remove its negative sign. Alright. We can do that. So, in order to do that, well, let's see, let's go from here. So, we're going to inbox. If what we picked up is negative, we want to do some logic, which is going to be well, so first of all, if it's not negative, we're going to outbox it and jump back up. If it is negative, I guess let's copy it to 0 and then sub-0, because if we subtract the negative from the negative, it's going to add it. We're going to get 0, and then we sub it one more time. This might not be the most efficient, but it should work. And then why not jump into our outbox deal where we jump back up. Let's see what this does. Yep. Okay, so here's a negative. Copy it, subtract it, subtract it. There we go, we've changed the sign. Okay, so this is going to work. But let's see how it goes for efficiency. 8 or fewer commands. We got 8. Excellent. Speed challenge. Okay. So, could have done faster. So let's... Could have done it in less steps, rather. So let's see. Where are we getting extra stuff? So if it's negative, we're jumping down here. We're copying. We're copying it, and then we're subtracting twice. Do we have a different way to do that? We could copy it to 2 different spaces, but that doesn't... I don't think that actually does anything for us. Okay. So it might involve... Alright, so if it's not negative, we outbox it, we jump back. That's the least amount of steps we can have there. If it is negative, we do the copy, sub, and then we jump, outbox, jump. But if we instead were to... If we were instead were to just outbox and jump back... We've saved a jump. We have 9 commands now, though. But in this game, the efficiency solutions don't necessarily happen together. Like, we might have the least amount of steps and the least amount of commands be two separate solutions. So I think this might actually save us some steps. It won't be the least number so it won't be the least number of commands, but it might be... Yep, okay. So that does the speed challenge. So that will actually... That gets us both elevator lights lit up, because they don't have to be done together. Okay. Alright, let's... Sabbatical Beach Paradise. Let's go for it. This is our year 18. Losing 5 nickels already, Wrench. Okay. I guess that's us there with the coffee mug. Yeah, what a garbage beach. Where's Pseudo? I want to make a joke about New Jersey, but I don't think he's here. Okay. No, you know what? I need to update the game capture to capture my cursor so you guys can actually see where I'm clicking and pointing to and such. There we go. Okay. It's telling me this is a trip to his homeland, yeah. Please do let him know. Yes, welcome back. Jesus, okay. What have I done? Oh, am I now... Oh, I think my character is now balding as I advance through my career. Thank you for pointing that out, game. For each number in the inbox, send that number to the outbox, followed by all numbers down to or up to 0. Alright, so this is essentially factorial. Well, I mean, it's not, because we're not multiplying all the way up or down. But we got new commands. Basically an increment and a decrement. Bump plus, bump minus. Okay. They add 1 or subtract 1 from an item on the floor. Okay, so we are going to have to copy to the floor. Result is given back to you, and for your convenience, also written right back to the floor. That is convenient, at least for this challenge. So what we're going to do is inbox. We're going to copy that to 0. We are going to then outbox it. Wait, so that number followed by August. So we do want to outbox that number. But then we want to come back, and if it's negative, we want to get our way up to 0. So if negative, we're going to bump plus, and we're going to outbox that. Oh wait, no, I won't have this in my hand anymore, so after outboxing I need to copy back from 0. Then, if negative, we're going to bump plus 0, outbox that, and then we want to keep doing that until, is it including 0? Followed by all numbers down to or up to 0. I'm not sure if that includes 0. I'm gonna guess that it does not for now, and then we'll see. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna keep going through this until it's 0. So if we do a bump plus and it is 0, we're gonna jump all the way back up here. Okay. So that's gonna cover the negatives. If it's not negative, we are going to bump minus. We are going to outbox that. And then if 0 here, we're gonna do this jump. Okay, let's see how this does. 2, 1. Wait a minute. Let's step back through that. Step back and debug. Okay. Okay. So we have a positive number, so we're in here, so gonna bump down. If 0, we're jumping back up. It's not 0, so we're gonna outbox that. And then, oh, we haven't done it. We haven't done a jump back on this, of course. Yeah, okay. So, of course. So after outboxing, we're gonna jump back to here. That's at least one thing I missed. We'll see how it does otherwise. The boss very mad, yeah. Okay, I mean, this is now going correctly. I'm just curious to see what happened when it's 0, because I don't know if they want me to send 0 as well, or stop at 0. Okay, so now we've ended up at 0, so we're going back into the inbox. Now we're negative. Okay, it expected 0. Okay. Now we know. So if 0, we're going to want to do one final outbox. So instead, let's have, and then this is another jump of 0, where we're going to do something else. So I'm going to use both of these jump if 0s are going to go to the same logic, which is going to be an outbox with a single jump all the way back up. Alright, let's give that a go. Speed this up a bit. One, okay. Now, 0 logic should kick in. We outbox that, we jump all the way back to the beginning. Okay. So now the negatives, this should bump plus. We get -3. Excellent. Now the 0 logic should kick in again. We outbox that. Jump back up. Ooh, but this one is just 0 now. Okay, good. We accounted for that. Oh wait, no we did not. No we did not. I need to check for 0 first. Okay. So if after we inbox, and so yeah, so if we've come up with a 0, basically I'm gonna jump to that 0 logic here as well, which looks a little silly because it's gonna be like, oh, jump down to here, which jumps you all the way back up, but it looks weird, but logically it's still gonna be efficient enough, I think. Okay. Okay. So now we get to the 0, and it should understand, and then we go back to the inbox. Okay, okay. Alright. Let's see what our score is here. -9, yeah. Hey, Pseudo. Okay, so yeah, I can definitely do this more efficiently and faster, so let's go back and try again. Yeah, so basically, in a recent cutscene, we went to a garbage beach, Pseudo, and we we made a note that it might look like where you came from. You know what? Just for you, let's do it again. Here it is, the sabbatical beach paradise on the garbage beach. This is terrible. Hey, but you got some coffee and looks like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Perhaps Live Wire from that one wonderful summer. Oh good, it kept all my logic. Although I honestly probably would have been fine if it wiped it out. Actually, I'm gonna go to a fresh tab. Okay. So let's go back. Inbox. We're gonna want to outbox it. But we do need to copy it. And then outbox it if it is negative. It's Pseudocorp is always getting rich. Okay. Alright, so if negative, we're going to be bumping our way up to 0. So we're going to bump that and outbox it. Until it's 0. We still want to outbox it. But at this point I don't have it in my hand, so I have to check for this. And then outbox and jump back up. And then if positive, we're doing the opposite. But with the same logic, which is jump of 0, outbox, jump back. This is now 12 commands. What did we have before? I think we had like 16 and it wanted it to be 10. But what this is still missing is the 0 case. Yeah, 16, thanks. It's a good question, Rich, and I've been trying to remember lately. So, let me take a quick look at the Stream Elements dashboard, my loyalty point rules, because I'm curious myself. Yes, authorize. Okay. So, loyalty points. So you get 50 nickels every 10 minutes you watch. So you actually accrue them. You accrue a decent amount just for being here. A host gets you 1,000 nickels, and following gets you 500, but you can only follow once, and you guys are already following me, so anywho, back to my Twitch dashboard, Stream Manager, there we go. Okay, alright, so this right now is 12 commands. We have this one case where we inbox it and it's 0, so we want to outbox it and jump back. What does this look like? Can't jump if negative with empty hands. Oh, because I missed the copy from. Duh. I was like, thought I did the same logic here. Because we do need to, we do need to copy from after we bump. I wonder if I was doing that differently before. So copy from, and then I need to do the same thing here, but I don't need to do it if it's 0. I think I was doing that outside of 0 block before. Let's see here. I just messed up this whole thing. Okay. Go with 0, copy to outbox. Yeah, because I'm not inboxing again, of course. I need to inbox immediately. Or, sorry, not inbox, I need to copy from here. So outbox, I need to copy from 0. Just reset all this. I don't know what I did. I got lost in the logic. Okay. We inbox. We copy to 0. We have to do that. We then outbox what we have. And then we gotta come back and copy from 0. And then, if negative, we're going to bump it up, outbox it, and jump back until it's 0, when we're going to outbox that final 0. Actually, I can get rid of that, I think. Outbox, and then if it's 0, we jump back. Okay. I think I might be saving some steps here. So if it's not negative, we're going to bump down. We're going to outbox that. But I'm not... Yeah, so I'm not holding 0 anymore at that point. So I have to jump at 0 to one final outbox statement. And then jump back. Because yeah, it's only after that bump that I'm going to see what I have in my hand. And if it's 0, I'm only doing one final outbox. Then once I've outboxed it, it's not in my hand anymore, so I can't check what I had. Though I can go back and copy from 0 and check if it's 0. But that's not less steps. Okay. So I, of course, have to do the same thing here. If 0, do this final outbox and jump back. What dumb thing am I doing? I'm not jumping back in one of these. I am here, but I'm not here. See this, so this is just, all this has gotten me is the exact same solution I had before. Like this will work, but it's the same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna stop and reset that, because this is gonna be identical to this tab now, essentially. We can look at the optimization challenges. Yeah, my best is 1685 steps. Okay. Alright, inbox. Does that mean Indy's crunk too, Suno? You've already done it all. So let's write out these bits of logic separately. So let's assume we have a positive number. So we're going to pull it from the inbox, copy it to 0, outbox it, then we're going to bump that down, outbox that, and that logic needs to loop back on itself. Once it's 0, see, this is where things are weird. Like, it's definitely not in my hand anymore, right? Like, I can't jump of 0 back up here, because once I've outboxed it, I still have it, right? Let's double check that. Yeah, you can't jump of 0 with empty hands, yeah. So that has to be done here. And not specifically here, actually, because if 0, I need to outbox it and jump back. Like, this is always, 0 is always our base case, whether we're adding or subtracting. So, I mean, we're going to head down to this same logic anytime we end up with a 0. If we, including if we pull a 0 straight out of the inbox, we need to outbox it and jump back. The thing I'm having a problem with is outbox, don't have it in my hand anymore. So I need to copy from, then I can check if I'm working with negatives. If I'm working with negatives, we bypass this positive logic. Now we're bumping our way up to 0, outboxing it, jumping back, but we still need to, if 0, jump down here, but I'm back at 16 commands. So I'm duplicating a lot of logic that I shouldn't be here. Sort of wish I could look at 2 tabs at the same time. Alright. So let's go a bit slower here. So when I inbox, I have the first number I need to output in my hand. If I put it straight into the outbox, I lose it, and I have nothing to reference going from there. So I have to copy it. I have to store it somewhere. From there, I wonder if I can save some outboxing by, I've copied it, now it's in my hand. If it's negative, outbox, and then go into this other logic, where now we're bumping up, and then jumping back to this outbox logic. And then essentially same thing with here. Outbox it, bump minus, jump back through. So now our check for 0 doesn't have to go through an outbox, because now if 0, we're going to go back up here. And we don't have to have an extra check for 0, actually, I don't think. need to have this here. Let me see how this runs. Yes. Okay. I keep forgetting about that. Inbox, copy to, outbox. Hey, still, I'm missing my copy froms. Well, no. Because I don't need a copy from if I do a bump, because it puts into my hand anyway, but I can't check for 0 if I don't have it yet. So if we were going through here and we've outboxed 0, and then I go back and I pick up a 0, if I try to bump it, now I'm in negatives. I could change this to, jump if, I could put it below here and do jump if negative, because when we're on the positive logic, if we end up negative, I want to go back to the inbox. So if I did that, but I don't have a way to do that when I'm starting with a negative number, because here, let's say I've outboxed a 0, I can't jump if 0 at that point because there's nothing in my hand. If I bump, I've ended up with a 1, but there's no jump if positive. Though I could instead, actually, this jump, instead of this, can be jump if negative. Because then once we get to 0, it doesn't need to jump back, but we do need to still outbox the 0. So let's say we've outboxed something. And then we bump it. Let's say we've outboxed -1. We bump it. And we end up with 0. Jump if negative won't happen. Jump if 0, though. Let's see. Jump of 0 needs to get outboxed still. Oh, no. No, you go away. You go away. So yeah, jump of negative. If we've gotten to 0, we don't need to jump. We just need to outbox it and jump back up here. Let me see how this runs. I think I'm probably missing some stuff. 5, 4, 3, 1, 0. Okay, we're outboxing 0. We're bumping this, that's now negative, so we're throwing it out. We're going to the next thing. Okay, that works. Now on the negative side, on this, it's now a 0, it's no longer negative, so we're going to outbox that, jump back here. Outbox that, since that's 0. Check it, we've ended up with the negative again, so 0 gets handled along with the positive logic. And then this should get handled. Okay. I mean, this is not 10 steps, but it's less than the 16 I started with. Speed challenge, we're quite a bit under, so that's good. Let me go back. Let's see if we can abstract. Not abstract. Let's see if we can pull out some of the cruft here. Okay. So this is kind of where I feel like I have some extra steps going on, maybe. So the jump of negative. So I've gotten to a point where I already have 0 and I've already outboxed it. But I'm still going through and bumping and checking, oh, now I've gone past 0, so I've gone too far. I mean, do I want to... If I instead jump if 0 here... Well, I can't jump if 0 there because I don't have it in my hand. If I instead jump if 0 here down to this outbox and jump again, then I'm so I've outboxed, and then I'm doing a bump, and then I'm going back to the inbox. I haven't saved any steps if I do that. Like if I got rid of that, put a jump of 0 here down to this logic. I think I'm going to end up with the same thing I had. Yeah, I shouldn't expect it. I wasn't paying attention. Which one didn't work? It's just negative -2. Next one. Oh, it was on the 0, wasn't it? Throwing that out, but then I'm not. Because I've lost that because I've outboxed to the 0, and then I'm coming back to bump it, and then I don't have the jump of negative. So it's actually better for me to have this. So here I'm jumping if negative to this outbox. Otherwise, I live in here. Alright. So here's a new thought. Okay. So if I share bits of logic, so if If negative, I'm going to bump up. If positive, I'm going to bump down. And then I'm going to jump from here to this out box. This will just get to that out box and then jump back. We actually don't want to jump back to the in box. And actually, throw out that. In-box, copy, outbox. If negative, bump it up by 1, jump back, outbox it. If negative, blah, blah, blah. If we end up, but we are going to have a check each time for if 0. Because if 0, we're going to go back to the inbox. Oh, and I'm still missing my copy from after I outbox. So every time after I outbox, I have to copy from. Now if I copy from, and I'm now holding 0, and jump back here. Let me see what this does. Let's see if it fails immediately. Okay, now we're going to end up with the 0. Outbox that 0. Copy from, I'm now holding a 0, so let's go back. So now we got negative logic. Oh man, I got a good feeling about this. I'm gonna outbox that. I'm gonna check again. We're now holding a 0. Go to the next bit. So now 0. Outbox, copy from. We're holding a 0. It was only a 0. Oh man, this is gonna do it. This is 10 commands. It is a lot more steps, but I had the shorter steps in the other, so my longer solution was good for speed. This solution is better for readability, basically. Okay, well that's fine. Like I said before, and as the game tells you, there's not necessarily going to be one solution that gets you both optimization challenges. Oftentimes it's going to be one or the other. So I had 2 different solutions that lit those up, so I'm good with that. So I'm going to move on to year 20. Multiplication workshop. It seems like only yesterday we were learning about adding. All right. So we can name, we can label our our data blocks on the ground now. Yeah, that's true, pseudo. It's like, all right, just count down to 0 or count up to 0, but build something to do that. For these 4 numbers, it'll take you much longer. Okay, so you got labels. They can help you remember the purpose of each tile on the floor. Just tap any tile on the floor to edit. Okay. So for each 2 things in the inbox, multiply them and outbox the result. Don't worry about negative numbers for now. Okay, that is going to be helpful. So yeah, this is just giving us an example of copy from 0, copy to hello. So here's what we're gonna want. Let's kind of trash these for now. This is left here for me. I guess I can't get rid of that. So let's that's a fun undo sound. leave that there, because 0 is going to have to stay there anyway. Okay, so we're going to pull from the inbox, and we're going to copy it to 0. We're then going to have to pull from the inbox again, and that's what we're going to multiply by. We're going to copy that to 1. Then we're going to want to copy from 0 and add 0. And then copy that back to 0. So there we've multiplied it by 2. And we're gonna, since we're gonna be storing that in 1, we then need to bump 1, or whoops, we need to bump 1 down, because it's basically just gonna be used as a tracker for how many times we've duplicated. And actually, I don't want to copy this to 0. I want to copy it to 2, because I want to maintain that first one. Copy to 0, copy 1, copy from 0, add 0, copy that to 2. This is going to be our sum, so let's call this our... Let's just use the labels it's giving us. That's going to be our sum field. Looks like I wrote cum with a little tail, but let's ignore that. Sum field. And then we're going to bump down our multiplicand. Okay. And then we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep repeating this bit until we bump this down and end up with 0. And it will put 0 in our hand. Oops. It will put 0 in our hand. Once we end up with 0, we are going to copy from the sum and outbox that, and then jump back to the beginning. Let's see what this does. Alright, 3, 4. There we go, that's our sum. Bump that down. Okay, this isn't quite what we want. Like, at all. I messed up the whole thing. So, okay, let's go back through. Copy that to 0, 1, we're storing those. Copy from 0. Oh, we don't want to go back and copy from 0 every time. We want to be holding the sum, basically. So the first time around, copying from 0 makes sense, but instead, let's also copy this to sum, and then from here we're going to copy from sum every time. So we will have copied the first number to both 0 and sum, and that's essentially our first sum. Oh man, some of these are going to be 0 though. Well, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 times 0 is something that we're going to have to account for later, so this isn't quite going to work. But let me just sort of slowly step through this. Doing one too many thing here, because we're starting with 1 in the sum, essentially. So if we're going to copy, unless this is why it wanted us to have the 0 field, I mean, if we're going to start from there, yeah, so if we scrap some and instead do these from 0, which essentially is our sum in this case. We're starting with 0, which makes sense. Let's actually just change this to sum. Okay. This looks identical to my handwriting, even when I'm using an actual pencil. Alright, so if we do this... Oh, sorry. I actually want to get rid of this copy too. We are going to continue to copy from sum though, because we're going to start with 0. 0 is always sitting there. Okay, so we're doing 5 times 5. So starting with 0, we've done it once. Done it again. We've ended up with 25. That's the sum we want. We're now at 0. Grab sum. Unbox it. Okay. When we get to the zeros, this isn't going to work out. Oh, I need to reset sum to 0. Yeah. Sum is not going to remain 0 at the end of that. Dang. Okay. So, of course, our sum is not always going to stay this way. So that 0 still feels like it was kind of just there for the demonstration in the beginning. If we go back to this as our sum, wait until this game makes you start writing ASCII, yeah. So we're still going to want to go back and do this. So we're going to want to copy it to sum. All these are going to be, I'm going to go back to sum now. But we are just going to want to, we're going to want to bump this down first, basically. First thing we do is decrement this. If we have a 0 there, then let's be done. Alright, 7 times 3. Oh, wait. Put that in the wrong spot. So 8 times 2. That's 16. Hey, look, it's a 0. So we're done. Okay. Okay. I think this is still going to break on 0 though. Because anyway, so I can stop there. So when I do either of my inboxes, when I'm pulling from the inbox, I need to check for both the first one and second one being 0, because I mean, obviously, if any of them is 0, then we just want to outbox and get out of here. So This music is kicking. Alright, so let's just say first one's 0. Let's outbox it and jump back to the beginning. Let's fast forward a bit here. Well, I've ended up with a case here where the second one is 0, so this is not going to do what I want. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't love this. I feel like it's too many extra commands, but that's fine. Let's just see. This should work. Okay. A 6 and a 0, so just outbox that 0. Outbox that 0. But see, now we haven't ended up in the right spot, because if the first one is 0, we need to then outbox it, but we also need to throw out the next number. Well, actually, the first one is 0. This logic is just going to work, actually, because we're going to keep adding 0. We only need to do this if the second one is 0. That's the only time it's going to actually break on us. Okay. So here's a case where the second one is 0. It's going to be like, there you go, gone. Now in this next one, the first one is 0. So we're going to go through the same logic, which I know is going to like waste steps for us, because we're just going to be adding 0 each time. And there will be definitely a way to make that more efficient. But let's see where we are. But let's 69. Okay, so we're good on command size, but extra steps on average, I think because of that dumb 0 bit. So let's go back. Hold on, I've missed some chat here. I have a 0 in box 1 that you can sub back into box 9 to reset. Hold on, I'm trying to understand what you're saying, Kevin. You'll have a 0 in box 1 that you can sub back into box 9 to reset. So you're saying if the first one is 0, not sure I'm following, Kevin, sorry. If the first one is 0, we can definitely save some steps by jump if 0. Let's say we jump past all this logic for now. We want to outbox that, then basically inbox and jump, which is going to throw out the next one in the inbox so that we can jump back to here. This is more commands, but this might get us efficiency for number of steps. A few more commands this time. It did save us steps. But not enough. I copy 2, I'm still holding, right? So if at this point I'm holding a 0, get rid of this logic for a minute. Okay. If the second one I'm holding is a 0, I absolutely want to do that. If the first one I pull out is a 0, I just want to do a separate bit of logic where I throw it out. I mean, there's no actual need to copy it, so if I instead I think I actually see what you're saying now, Kevin. If I'm doing this 0 logic, if the first one I pull out is 0, I could essentially immediately inbox, get rid of the next one, copy from 9 and outbox that. But I don't know if that's faster. I don't know if that actually changes the number of steps. If 0, because what I was doing before is I was outboxing, then inboxing, then jumping. So this is actually an extra step than if I were to outbox that 0, inbox, and then jump back up. What do you have to say? Also labeled my sandwich. All right. This is a job for a new tab. Oh, by the way, folks, I'm doing a bit of a shorter stream today, so I'm going to be, like, after this puzzle, I'm going to stop. Normally I go till 6, but I'm going to stop a bit early today. Just have some stuff to do tonight, some work stuff, so that I'm not up late into the night. Okay. Inbox, copy 2. We always want to do that. Then we want to grab the next one. Copy it to 1. Huh. Our labels are per tab. That's kind of nice. Inbox copy to 0, inbox copy to 1. Okay. I do feel like I still need to copy this here to start the summon. Oh no. Why do I need to... what? I forget why I thought I needed to do that. Let's try without it for now. Okay. So I'm gonna ignore the 0 cases for now. So I've copied my multiple cans into there. Still gonna use space 1 as a counter. So after I've copied, I'm going to then go into my add logic. I think I'm actually gonna copy from here. So I'm going to start with 0, and then I'm going to add 0. It's going to get my first delete, and then this is going to be a loop. Then after I add, I'm going to want to copy back to 9. Okay, I remember the problem I had was that then I ended up at a point where this isn't 0 anymore after the first time you go through this. So copying from, I'm never going to keep zeroing out, but and again, this might have been what you were saying earlier, Kevin, is to reset from 9, which if I, instead of this, if I'm going to if I'm copying to and from here, I'm going to need a different copy from. So after I copy to 1, I'm going to need to copy from 9. That will reset us every time. Because 9 is always going to stay the same. And if 8 is going to be my sum, I'm going to copy from 9, copy to 8, 0 it out every time. No, I don't need to do that. Copy from 9, I'm going to have my 0. And then I'm going to add, and copy that to 8. I'm still going to have it in my hand. I'm going to have the sum in my hand, so I don't need to copy back. Because adding 0 doesn't change what's on the floor, does it? I can't remember. Let's see. So I jump back, do the adding. After I do the adding and the copying, I need to bump 1 down. And at some point that is going to become 0. If 0, we're not going to jump anymore. Actually, if 0, we're done. We've outboxed everything we need, right? So we go back. This will still break somewhere, probably for the 0s. I just want to keep an eye. I just want to check on this now. Alright, start with 0. 4. Excellent. 8 is our sum for now. Oh. Okay. Right, because when you bump, you end up with the result in your hand. So I need to... Actually, what if I bump this first? No, I still need a jump of 0. Okay, if I bump that and then jump of 0, and then I add a copy to, I don't need to do another copy from. Of course, if I bump, I don't have it to copy from 8, add, copy it back to 8. Yeah. Just need to copy this to 8 as well. I think I'm just going to end up back where I was, but let's see. I didn't even check what the numbers were, so I don't even know if my current sum. Well, for one thing, I haven't outboxed anything, of course. I need to outbox if I've ended up with, if I've gotten down to 0. So I need to outbox. Then I can jump back. Alright. 8 times 4, so this should end up as 32. I copied the wrong thing to the sum. Yep. Alright. Alright, 8 times 4. Right, now we've ended up with 32, which is what we want. We bump this down, we end up with 0. Oops. If we end up with 0, we need to copy from 8 before outboxing. Have I even done anything different from my original? Huh? It seems yes so far, if this works, but I haven't done the zeros yet. I haven't accounted for the zeros, so I may not be any closer. Okay, 0. Copy that. Outbox that. Alright. So again, we're going to end up with 0 troubles. And by 0 troubles, I mean lots of troubles involving the number 0. Okay. Now we've just ended up in the same crap place. Yeah, we're just gonna get right back to the original solution we had. Alright, what's another way we can multiply? We can bump by 1 each. We can bump by 1 for the quantity that's in here. And then every time we get to 0, decrement this, and then start it all over again until we have a sum. that feels to me like it's going to not be right. And where did we end up? Okay, so we ended up with a few amount of commands, but we are a few steps over for the speed challenge. So actually, might make more sense to modify this. We just need to cut out some cruft. So if we are if 0, we're doing that outbox, inbox, and jumping back, that's fine. We're copying that to 0 and to sum. Grabbing the next one. If the second one is 0, we can just outbox and jump back. Which is what we're doing, okay? Otherwise we're copying that to 1. Then here I decided to bump that down first, because we've already copied essentially it multiplied once into sum, so we can get rid of one of these. If we've reached 0 on that, we're done. Copy from sum, we outbox it, we jump back. If not, we copy from sum, add it, copy it to the sum, jump back up, do the same thing again. And this ended up being efficient, so that was good. It just takes too many steps. So is there a situation where I can add in a command to lessen our steps? Okay, let's see. If the first one is 0, I might be able to do something down there. I mean, this is pretty fine. Okay. Can I avoid using the sum field entirely? I don't think I can. Yeah, I think I need to keep it stored somewhere. I can't overwrite the initial one. I mean, if I was keeping track of, like, okay, I've already doubled it, so if I need to make it go an even number of times, I can continue to double it, or now I've quadrupled it and I need it to be multiplied by 8, so I can just double that now. Well, tell you what, it is, it's getting late and I need to stop early, so I'm going to stop now. I might come back to this one later, to come back for optimization. There are some other ones that I've skipped optimization steps for, so we'll see. I might not come back. I might just continue my way up. I'm not sure how, like, insanely long I want to spend on, like, optimizing this entire game. I think it's more fun if I probably just move on a bit. So next time I'll probably move on to this this Fibonacci track, because I love me some Fibonacci. So I'm gonna end the stream here.